Hello.
There he is.
How's it going, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you clear. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah, I got you.
Awesome, brother. Yeah. So yesterday was pretty crazy, eh? Pretty exciting event at Noreen.
Yeah, I had a great time, as usual. A lot of great people, a lot of great energy. It's fantastic.
Yeah. No, I mean it's always every Thursday, man. It gives you. I feel leaving kind of magical after one of those conversations.
I do,
After one of
too.
those.
It gives you a lot to think about, usually, right? A lot to work on, I like about it.
Yeah. What?
A lot of direction.
So like, what would you do if you weren't going to a workshop? What would you normally do on a Thursday night?
Thursday, I would probably work out. I work out every day at 5 o'clock as soon as I'm done work.
Hmm.
I go to the gym for an hour at least, usually. And either spend some time with the kids or doing some research. I've been doing a lot of that lately, a lot of reading, a lot of watching different documentaries, stuff like that. Working on different stuff for the eco movement, of course, as well. Stuff like that. I don't watch much TV anymore.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that, man. Me either. For the last few years, I haven't really, other than if you're at the gym and maybe something's on and you're, watching it, or I stream something online here and there. But for the most part, haven't watched TV in years, man. What kind of effect do you think that's had on you?
Well, you know what? I find myself a lot more relaxed when I don't watch television. And
Mm.
everybody's different. It's not like I'm sitting here and I'm trying to say, oh God, don't watch TV and all this stuff like that. No, no, no. But what I'm saying is, for me, what happened is that it kind of it's a lot less of chaotic energy that's injected, I find, into you on TV when you're watching it. It's different if you're watching comedies and, maybe something inspirational, like movies that have inspirational, storylines to them and stuff like that. That's good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff out there like that too. But there's a lot of crap out there. Most of the reality shows and stuff like that. Um, when you look at a show like Jerry Springer, say,
Yeah.
that's a dangerous show. That's a dangerous show. We've got a lot
Yeah.
of people out there, right, who are walking a tightrope of insanity. Like, they could go either way, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got people on there making it look like that this craziness is like acceptable behavior in our society when it really shouldn't be, kind of thing, right? But that's a matter of opinion, right? That's just my opinion. So it's not really.
Well, that's
But
interesting.
you know what? What I was thinking about something all morning um, from our conversation yesterday, and it was about speak it into existence thing,
Right.
right? And it all goes along with the law of attraction. And something was just screaming at me today for us to talk about the law of attraction and speaking stuff into existence. Because I bumped into somebody today, a couple people actually in my day,
Mm.
who I heard say stuff like, oh, I'm no good at this, or oh, I'm terrible at this, or oh, I heard a woman say to me, oh, women are the same, women are no good, women aren't the same as they used to be, and blah blah blah. Just any kind of negative thing, like anything at all. When you say it, you attract that to you. So when we say you can speak stuff into existence, it works both ways.
I
You
agree.
know,
Yeah. I mean,
you can speak good stuff into existence, or you can speak really, really bad stuff into existence. You need to be careful what you speak about in general, I find.
that's so powerful, man. And one of the things that kind of runs by my head when you say that is like I've said the exact same thing to when I had a conversation with Grace, and we started to, as soon as I mentioned that to her, we started to catch ourselves when we were having conversations, and we started to say like negative things about ourselves, because a lot of the times when we say something negative about ourselves, we don't really think about it, right? Or it's like, well, I'm not good at this, or and you kind of just brush it off, and you think it doesn't really affect you, but it does, because you start, behaving in a way that's consistent with that. And it's exactly what you said. When you speak it into existence, it starts to become more real. So we're just a little bit more tuned and aware of when we catch ourselves doing that now, and we automatically correct that statement. So it's interesting that you brought that up, and I think that as that statement starts to make more sense to you, you start to catch it more when you see it in yourself or when you hear it from other people. It's kind of like almost like a little alarm that goes off, and you're just more conscious of it.
Absolutely. The awareness of it is key, right? That way you can, like you said yesterday, which I love, that you can go in and reset your default, right? So where in that same circumstance that you would act a certain way, usually you just train your mind to think otherwise. And this is for everybody out there who's listening, who's ever said or says to this day that they're no good at anything, or they have bad traits, or they don't like something about themselves. Listen, you need to stop for a minute and stop limiting yourself, because you, like any one of us here on this planet, are capable of anything. You and everyone you know can do anything that you wish that you want to do, as long as you use the universal laws, of course, and apply them. The law of action, law of attraction. You got God's strength and that. But don't tell yourself that you're no good at something. Reverse it. Flip it. Say, you know what? I'm getting better at this. I'm going to be better at this, and then take the action to become better at it. And I guarantee you, it will happen for you as long as you believe it, and you do the action, like I said, that's necessary to take you in that direction. But the most important thing is not limit yourself. When you tell yourself you're no good at something, bang, you're automatically no good at it. So don't shut yourself off from anything. You can do anything.
Yeah,
that's something that I really wanted to get. I felt like I needed to say something.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, and the reason why that's even more inspiring is because, I may have had this conversation with you before, but I definitely had this conversation with some people recently, and I remember there was a study by this guy, I think his name was Emile Coué, I think he was a doctor, and basically he used to work with patients. Now, I think these patients were depressed, and what he had them do was actually say statements like, every day and every way I'm getting better and better. And after like a month's time or a certain amount of time, these patients actually improved their states even beyond what the pharmaceutical medication was able to do for them.
Oh, absolutely. Amazing stuff.
So it just goes to show the power of what you just said. Like, there's actual science behind this that has shown that it does have effect chemically, biochemically in our body, and in the way that we feel and think, and the results, right, in terms of people's health. So you're absolutely right when you say that, these things, when you speak a certain way, you do, in effect, compound that over time, speak it into existence, whether that's something that you desire or whether that's something that you don't desire.
Exactly. You know what? It's funny, too, because when you see, we've all been touched by cancer. We've all known somebody, or everybody has been touched by that disease. It's just like when a doctor diagnoses the disease, right? And they say, okay, you have 6 months to live. Well, then the mistake that people make is they give into that. They give into that. So they just accept it, and they end up lasting pretty much around the times that these doctors are predicting. But you take some people, some strong-willed people, on the other hand, who had been told the same information, who said, you know what, hey, guess what? I don't think so. I am going to beat this. And these are the ones who beat it. And, you see the same kind of story on both sides, time in and time out. It's all about attitude. It's all about how you make it go. It's not about, just sitting on it. We're all sitting on some ride at the circus, and we have no control about how it goes. No. We are in control of how this ride operates, where it goes, how fast it goes, how slow it goes, how calm it goes, how whatever, it doesn't matter. And the minute that you realize that is the minute that you take control of your life.
You know what I love about that, Wayne, is you kept talking about, or you made mention to, you made mention to the difference between people that have certain, they've been diagnosed with a certain disease or something,
Yep.
and, really the power of belief, right? The power of belief. Someone of authority tells us one thing, and then we either choose to willingly just accept that belief, and then, our body responds in a way that accepts that, and over time, these people actually, end up dying around the same time the doctor says. And then there's people that choose consciously to believe something else, and they start acting in a certain way, and their body responds in a certain way, and then they get 100% healthy. And the reason why that kind of even clicked and was really strong for me is because it kind of goes back to that first thing we said, even at the beginning of the day, where we were talking about watching TV a bit, and just how easy it is to be influenced by that if we're just passively sitting there and watching anything that comes on. We can be programmed for good, we can be programmed for, things that are not healthy for us. It's the same thing with that example you talked about, but, I think what the most important thing is here that's really, really powerful is that whole point of having a choice to make a decision, to be aware of what is the things that I'm saying, what are the things that I'm believing, and then choose to believe and say the things that I want to actually happen, and therefore have those things happen over time by stacking it, like you said, using the law of attraction, using the law of action, by consistently doing that, consistently affirming that, consistently acting in that way, until you consistently become that way.
That's where good old free will comes into play, right?
I love it, man.
That's funny, because I had a conversation again today, earlier at lunchtime here, with a really good friend of mine, and we were talking about that very thing. She asked me, what I thought about destiny, and I said, you know what, I do believe in destiny, but for the destiny that I believe in has an S at the end of it. For me, destiny really is destiny, and destinies are many, many, many different destinies. You name it, it's different. There's many, many different ones, and it's all about the choice, the free will, that is the one true direction. Now, again, this is just my opinion and my belief. I don't have my PhDs or master's degrees or any of that stuff, right? This is just my humble opinion, right? I just want to put that out there too. But that's like I said, my opinion is that yes, there's destiny. There's destinies. There's many, many, many different ones. And it's all about the power of choice. And that's where, like I said, free will comes into play. And that directs where not just your world, but our collective parallel universes all come together. So I don't know how you feel about that, but that's my look on that. What's your look on that, brother?
I love it. First of all, I think that you people should choose beliefs that they believe are empowering to them, right? So when you said, destiny, you believe in destinies, to me that means kind of that the person has the choice. They can do anything, right? They could, consistently work out every morning and, within a few months they transform their body. Or they can choose not to do that, which is going to lead them down over the course of many years, a different destiny or a different result in terms of their health in the long term.
Absolutely.
I can consistently choose to, hang around people that are doing drugs or doing criminal activity and then maybe end up in jail or worse. Or I could consistently hang around people that are, trying to improve themselves each and every day. And then obviously after a few years, that's going to make a completely different choice in where I end up in life. So I believe that, and exactly what you said, but I also choose to believe it because I believe it's an empowering belief, which gives me control over my life. And I think that's what people should be in terms of consciousness. One of the things that they should do is choose things that are going to be empowering to them. It's not even whether, someone says it. A lot of times we hear things, we see things in books, or someone says a statement, and we're like, well, that sounds good, or we just, choose to believe that because it's the common phrase going along. But again, you
Yeah,
have the
because we're
choice to
all
believe it.
different. You're absolutely right. We're all different. You know what I mean? We all have our different likes, our different quirks, our different everything, right? So it's all good no matter what you like. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's why I always get a kick out of it when somebody will say, "Oh yeah, you do that? Oh, I can't stand that. Oh, I don't know how you can like that." What? Listen, you can tell me you do anything. It doesn't matter. You can tell me you enjoy jumping off a 10-foot cliff landing on your ass, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm not going to even think about it. I'm just going to be happy that that's what you enjoy. And if that's what you enjoy and you're not hurting anyone, well, then all the power to you, right? I just get a kick out of that. And I always ask people, you know what? Okay, can I ask you a question? Why is it that you can allow something that somebody else does upset you to this degree? And a lot of the times they look at me like, wow, I have no idea. I really should look at that. It's like, yeah, why does that bother you so much? But yeah, that's where that led me right there.
I love it, brother. Boy, I had one more thing I wanted to, that kind of popped up in my head today. A lot of people that are going to be listening to this is, we've kind of talked about the power of choice and decision and um, being aware so that whatever you want, you actually speak that into existence and start, becoming more of what you want to be or who you want to be. One
Yeah.
of the questions I have, and probably some of the things that would come up in people's mind is like, yeah, I know what I want to be. I know what I want to do. I know where I wish I could do these things, but then, they're plagued by, negative thoughts or things that kind of hold them back in their day-to-day life. So they find it hard to consistently, feel that empowered or consistently exercise their choice to believe in things or believe in being who they want to be, right? And I think, a lot of times they might kind of just look at what's right in front of them, you know, if they're sick, then, they're like, well, I'm sick, rather than, speaking health into existence. So how can, or what would maybe be an idea for you, how could someone, get into that sort of consistency so they're not having those up and down days and really start to see like a transformation in their life? What do you think?
I totally get what you're saying here, and it's again funny but not funny that I went through a conversation with somebody just the other day about this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that first of all is that and I had just recently been doing this, and I had some stuff going on in my life as well, where I had to stop for a minute and say, you know what, hey, be grateful for what you have right now. Because when you're not grateful for what you have right now, it doesn't matter what dream you have. You automatically become disconnected when you are not just happy to just be alive, period. Be here in this beautiful place and be able to make somebody smile or do the small things that are free or whatever it is that makes you happy. We have got to be and have gratitude for what and we touched base on this the other day as well, in the fact of, like I said, if you sweep floors, you sweep the floors best, you be the best floor sweeper in the world. Take pride in what you do now. Have those dreams, yes, but be grateful for what you have now, and even be grateful for the negative lessons that you have gone through, because we don't always see them for the blessings in disguise, as we talked about as well. A lot of things are blessings in disguise. You might think it's a bad thing right now, but in actuality, it's something that's going to direct you into a better, more positive path. So I would say, stay on the path, stay grateful, and also keep your thought. Meditation is key about keeping those dreams alive through via meditation, which is an awesome way to connect to the spiritual realm, if you will. But and the law of action comes to my mind, right? You know what I mean? Like, you can have a dream about something, and again, application, right? If you don't take the small steps that you can take, like there's always little things you can do to get to a certain goal that's set. it doesn't have to all be accomplished in one day. Rome wasn't built in a day, they say, right? So
Mm-hmm.
everything doesn't have to be accomplished all in one day or one little time period, right? As long as you remain positive and you do the little things, the details that you can, anything that you can do. Like if you go, you can take a little weeknight course, or you can take a weekend course, or you can do an online course, or you can, take the little, find out the process of what your dream is about, and then make a checklist of all the things that you need to do before you can take it to the next level, and check them off one at a time. One day at a time. That would be my advice in a nutshell right there for that question. Is like I said, A, to be grateful already for what you have. Stay connected to the universe, because when you're ungrateful, forget it. You're out of luck, and you won't have good luck. I can guarantee you that much, in my opinion. But yeah, and take action, whether it be huge ones, little ones, small ones, middle-sized ones, doesn't matter. Just take the actions that you need to take to direct to have your thoughts and your actions parallel, like a line parallel, so that you're going in the same direction. And I guarantee you that you're going to see results a lot sooner than you would expect them.
I love that, man. That's golden advice for anyone, man. It's golden advice for me. It's for anyone. One of the things that I liked how what you mentioned there, and I think that this is where we can run into trouble, is that whole concept of time, where it's like, okay, this is what I want, and then wanting it now, and that's kind of what the ego wants. It wants everything now, and when we do that, it kind of can stress us out, because a lot of the time, some of the things that we want won't happen right away, and it takes that time to sort of bring it into reality, like you said, doing those things one step at a time. And quite often that's where I think that we end up pushing things away. It's when we don't have that, when we actually make things have to happen right now, and we don't allow ourselves the time to be grateful, and just realize, hey, you know what, this is going to happen, whether it happens in one day or whether it happens in 1 year. It will happen as long as I keep moving towards it and stay in that sort of flow. But I'll push it away, and I'll give up before I even get there if I think it all has to happen now, because I'm going to be moving towards that goal in a stressful manner, realizing I don't have it right now, again, keeping me focused on what I don't have, and therefore, again, your attention's on what you don't have, and you're going to bring that back into existence, more and more what you don't want, right?
Exactly. You're hammering the nail on the head right there, buddy.
So that's why I wanted to make a point of, because that was the one thing that jumped out when you said that, and I think that's where, even when I'm trying to make things happen in my life, that's where I naturally go, and then I have to catch myself and realize, hey, it's me thinking that this needs to happen right now, and I think that's a challenge that a lot of us
I have a friend of mine who you're going to meet on Monday, when we get together. His name is Tyler. Hi, Tyler. He's always the one telling me, he's always the one who reiterates this to me. He's always the one telling me, okay, don't put dates on stuff. Don't say, stop saying you're going to have this done by this day or whatever. And I'm always like, everybody who knows me knows, okay, you can say so much to me, but I'm still going to take my energy to where I believe it's going to go.
Yeah.
But I do understand his point, and you just reiterated it to me, so I'm smiling, Tyler, okay, if you can hear this, all right? I'm smiling, right? Your boy, who you're just going to meet on Monday, he's got your back on this one. And I have to agree. You can't put a timeline on stuff. You have to just let things happen with the natural flow of the universe.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up the whole writing with timelines, because make no mistake, I do the same thing. But what I've noticed, especially when it's different when there's something that you know exactly how to do. Like, okay, example, I'm going to go shopping and get groceries today. Okay, well, everyone knows how to do that, right? So you're confident you can get that done in a day. But we're talking about specific things when we're talking about creating something you've never brought into form yet, something that can take a lot of time, and you don't necessarily know all the steps. You have an idea of some of the steps, but you don't necessarily know all the steps. That's when it becomes a challenge, and you try to force the outcome there, because you don't actually know how long it's going to take, or maybe all the steps. And I think that it's good to have an idea and have something that you're working towards. But once again, just making sure that you're catching yourself if you're starting to get negative or feel bad because you're not there yet, or maybe because you may not realize it within the original time that you had specified. Because once again, and I've seen it with myself many times with many of the goals I set, I pushed myself away, or I didn't reach that goal, or it took me a lot longer and I didn't move towards it like joyously, or when or I just gave up on the process. So it's
and I'm here laughing. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at exactly all the times that I remember doing this myself.
It's funny awareness, right?
It's wonderful, right? It's wonderful though. If you can look at your mistakes and say and realize that, guess what? If you didn't make any mistakes, you weren't doing anything. You weren't making an effort. You weren't going for something. You weren't taking the jump. I don't know. I remember I saw a video once on YouTube. It was Steve Harvey, and he was talking about the Family Feud guy, amongst a whole bunch of other stuff that he does. But he was talking about the jump, how you got to take that jump. I would recommend Googling the Steve Harvey jump video, and I would recommend anyone to watch that video. Very inspiring, and you got to take a chance. Like I said, we've said a million times before, if you want change in your life, you can't do everything the same and expect anything to be different. You got to take that chance. You got to take the initiative. And you know what? You'll be surprised at what you're able to accomplish, and it will only get better each day.
Buddy, I love it. And so let's wrap it up for today. What's kind of the recap you would say for today? People just want to take some main pointers going away from today's conversation.
Well, you know what? Gratefulness. From the minute you open your eyes, I would say gratefulness is key. It doesn't matter if you're in a terrible situation or not, if things are going great, good, mediocre, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's being grateful that will keep you connected. And then also I would say about, taking the action and directing your thoughts to how you want things to go. And, once you stay consistent with it, people say the sky's the limit, and I laugh always. There is no limit. To put a limit on it at just the sky, which is not very far, is kind of silly to me.
I love it, man. That's why I like talking to you all the time, man. No limits.
We are limitless, my brother. But go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself before we close up like we always do.
Awesome, brother. Well, for all those listening, my name is Mark with a C, last name Gaudette, Gaudett. You can follow me on Twitter, that's at Mark Gaudett, or find me on Facebook at Mark Gaudett as well. I am an internet marketer working on passive income streams here, and I'm passionate about health and mindset. All of those things you can find on my website at markgaudett.com if you want to know more. And I'm also spearheading a movement called the Financial Freedom Movement, which is actually an organization that is meant to spread wealth and abundance across the world. So that's a little bit about me. You can find out more on my website. I'll pass it over to you, Wayne.
That's awesome. Listen, I'm going to let everybody know Mark is always doing some really positive, amazingly powerful stuff. Very, very impressed, very powerful gentleman. But I'm Wayne Moland, Mouland. You can find me on Facebook, founder of the Echo Movement, which is www.echomovement.ca. And there's also Echo Movement Facebook page as well, and soon to be Twitter and all the rest of the accounts. I'm just a spreader of love and light to everything that is. One love to everybody.
Wayne, thank you very much for that. Always a pleasure talking to you, brother. These conversations help lift my day, and I'm
always a pleasure. Listen, hey, you lift me up too, my brother. Trust me.
And I'm happy to share this time with you, man. So in the meantime, man, have a great weekend. No doubt I'll probably end up speaking with you tomorrow there. But in the meantime, have a solid day, and I'll talk with you soon, brother.
You too. Have a blessed day, brother. Take care.
You too. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
See you, everyone.